Next, you find the dot in the center, your vanishing point, and all lines are going to end up here if they're not vertical or horizontal. You read from the vanishing point to a corner of the rectangle, and then you continue that line to the edge of the paper. So from the vanishing point, you read along to the corner of the rectangle and finish at the edge of the paper. You repeat this 4 times, and then you have what is a box in perspective looking in, like a shoebox or a room. This is going to be a room, so we need a door. To add a door, we need to work out where the door would go. It needs to go slightly above the center of the back wall, and the line at the top of the door needs to be parallel to the top rectangle that you started with. Next, from the vanishing point, we can find the corners of the thickness of the wall around the door, and those 2 lines will go towards the vanishing point. But the upright is a vertical line, so that will go down parallel with your other vertical lines. And again, the horizontal lines, top and bottom of the door frame, will be horizontal to all the other lines that you have in the drawing. The edge of the room, we could continue this. Imagine if the door has it's just a doorway, so we can look through it, and then we can see a room further on from that doorway. So we can read the lines across from the original 2 diagonal lines, and then put an end to it. And the end of the back room, the vertical and horizontal lines are parallel. Let's place another door. We'll have the corner of the door there, and we read the top of it again from the vanishing point in the center of the page, and that gives us the top of the door frame. The uprights again are parallel to the edge of the paper. I'm doing this freehand, so parallel is parallel, as close as I can get. Then these lines come down, and you can see where they stop by reading across from the other lines. Now there's a there's a horizontal line that goes across there, and one at the top too. So you've got those 2 horizontal lines in. Okay, next, from here, we could continue the back of our original room as if we're looking through the doorway on the right, and it's a continuation of the room. The top of the room would not be shown because it's covered by the door. Let's place a window in now. So you need to choose the height of where you'd like the window, and the vertical line would be parallel to your other vertical lines. But the diagonal line, as always, needs to come from the vanishing point. You read it through and you continue the line across. So we've got the bottom of the window and we read the line across from the vanishing point. And that gives us the top and the bottom angles of the window. Next, we do the line coming down. And then we have a window. Now we could probably fit another window in, and that could be the same height. So we extend the line of the angle that we have and we extend it again at the base. And then we find the 2 uprights. And next, the window frame will actually have a thickness. We're just keeping a nice simple drawing here. So the lines will go from the vanishing point, reading them across. And then the downward lines, they stay parallel. Again, reading across from the vanishing point, and then you can find out where they go. So as things get nearer the vanishing point, they get smaller, and as things are further away from the vanishing point, they get larger. They look larger. Let's put a table in. Now we don't want the table overlapping the window because that would be confusing in the number of lines. So we start the back of the table at the back of the wall. And then the side of the table will go along at the edge of the bottom of the windows. And then the other side of the table, we just find where we want the corner, that's our choice. That will be continuation from the vanishing point. Now this line here is parallel to the back wall and parallel to the paper, more or less. Now let's make that into a glass table so then you can actually see through it and see what's happening. So we give the surface of the tabletop a thickness, And that thickness, again, will follow the same rule of angles go towards the vanishing point. This being 1 point perspective, there's only 1 point to worry about. Now, because it's glass, we'll see the back edge of the glass plane. Needs some sort of legs, doesn't it? So we put some legs on, maybe some circular legs. So we put 4 ellipses, 1 in each corner, at the bottom of the surface. And then we can extend those legs down at the width. And wherever you stop the first one, where you think that will fit into your drawing, then you need to read across from that where the next one will go. So the one on the left goes a bit lower, so I need to make the first one that I drew a bit further down so that they are more or less parallel with each other. Then we need to find out where the back legs of the glass table go. So again, reading from the vanishing point to the front leg, and where it touches where the back leg would be, that's the base of the back leg. So we can plop those in again. And these will be slightly narrower, slightly smaller than the legs at the front, because it's in perspective. And we've got to remember that things get smaller as they are further away. At least they look like they get smaller when they're further away. Okay, so next we could add a picture frame. Let's do that. Use the dots of the vanishing point as one of the corners of the rectangle of the picture frame. Simple little picture frame. Pop that in. If we keep the details quite small, then it'll make the room look a bit bigger. We could put another picture frame in here. So again, these are all parallel with the back wall, but just different rectangles or squares, and they'll make the wall look flatter because it's now got a couple of things on it. 2 pictures. And we could put some lights in. So again, from the vanishing point, which is now turned into the corner of the frame, I've read across 2 lines, and then I'll make a mark on one side and then repeat it on the other side. And as the marks get nearer to the vanishing point, they get closer to each other. Each of those marks I'll make into an ellipse, and that can be a light in the ceiling. Okay, next we could put another door in the back room. Again, reading it from the angle of the door at the front room, and we find out where that door would need to be the same height, door frame at least. And again, finding out where the back wall goes, just reading it across and seeing where it would fit in. We could probably put a carpet or something like that. Again, reading from the center point, getting the 2 angles, choosing where it stops, and then maybe putting a few details like some tassels at the end of it, and maybe I'll put in some sort of patterning on it, again to give some sort of detail and some scale to the drawing that we have in front of us. On the wall on the right, I think I'll put another little frame. So again, just to make unity to the image, I'll read across the height of the frame on the back wall of the original room and just put it in on the right. So it looks like you're looking through a doorway to another room. Some floorboards on the floor, again working from the center point, the vanishing point, and we can read those lines off. And the lines at the back wall should be evenly spaced, and then they sort of fan out as they come towards you because they're coming from the vanishing point, reading them across. So I'm not joining up from the vanishing point because it will look like cobweb in the middle, but I'm just sort of visually following it through. So by the time it's in the center, it should be more or less straight, and then it's going to start fanning out the other way. So by the time it gets to the side of the left-hand wall, it'll be the same angle. So the floorboards go from the right to the left in a sort of fan-like shape. And because it's a glass table, I can draw the floorboards underneath it, going through. We can add some details to the table legs, table glass, colour in the carpet, make the black lines solid, make the outlines solid with black pen, put the floorboards in, do a view for the window, colour in some of the windows and pictures. I don't want to overdo it, that's probably enough.